The dense fog blanketed the town of Eldridge as evening fell, robbing the streets of their usual clarity. Joel Lambeth, a young journalist with a penchant for investigative reporting, had been tracking a series of inexplicable disappearances in town, which had set the community on edge. Despite the authorities' dismissive explanations of runaways and isolated incidents, Joel suspected something far more sinister was at play. On this particular night, his investigation had led him to the old waterfront district, an area where the fog clung with an almost supernatural persistence, and the decaying structures whispered of better days. As Joel navigated the slick cobblestones, his ears picked up a faint resonance that seemed out of place, a soft, melodious humming that seemed to oscillate with the fog. Driven by an intense need to find the source, Joel followed the sound to an abandoned warehouse by the pier. The large padlocks that had once barred entry lay discarded on the ground, corroded and defeated by time. Joel felt a chill that wasn't solely from the cold air. It stemmed from the realization that he might not be alone. Inside, the warehouse was a labyrinth of crates and forgotten wares. The humming grew louder, gaining a hypnotic quality that was nearly paralyzing. Flashlight in hand, Joel waded deeper into the abyss. His light fell upon walls that seemed to pulsate subtly with an alien rhythm, as if breathing. He stopped, listening, and the sound led him toward a secluded part of the warehouse concealed by heavy drapes. Drawing the cloth aside revealed a dimly lit alcove, and there, seated on the ground, surrounded by an array of complex electronic devices, was an old woman known to the locals as Madame Sorelli. Her reputation as a recluse and mystic had kept her on the periphery of Joel's mind when he considered possible leads. Her hands moved deftly over the devices, altering the pitch and tone of the humming. "Madame Sorelli?" Joel asked, his voice betraying a hint of uncertainty. She didn't startle. Instead, she continued her work as if she had expected him. Without looking up, she replied, "They are still here, in a way, trapped but comfortable, safe from whatever chased them from their earthly dwellings." Her words were cryptic, yet Joel felt the underlying truth in them ripple through the air. "Who?" he asked. "Who is trapped? Are these the people who disappeared?" With a nod, she turned a knob, and the room filled with a cacophony of voices, a devastating chorus that was both beautiful and terrifying. These were the echoes of those who had vanished, each held within her electronic web. "They came to me, seeking refuge from a darkness that hunts through sensation and fear. I take their essence and give them silence from the hunt. Here they are just echoes, but safe," she explained, her gaze finally meeting his, piercing and ancient. Joel struggled to process the revelation. "You keep them here? Forever?" His voice cracked under the weight of the ethical dilemma he faced. To expose her could be to endanger these souls, but to condone her actions could mean perpetual limbo for each of them. Madame Sorelli sighed. "Not forever. When the danger passes, when it is safe, I release them, but some choose to remain echoes. They prefer this existence to the grasping fear outside." Joel took a moment to let the magnitude of her words sink in. As he stood in that pulsating room surrounded by the very essence of lost lives, he realized the story he had come for was far bigger and more complex than a simple scoop for the Sunday feature. With a new sense of duty, he decided to protect Madame Sorelli's secret, at least for now, becoming a guardian of the link between the seen and the unseen, between the living and the echoes. His article instead hinted at hope and the resilience of the human spirit, encouraging those with lost loved ones to believe in the unseen paths between worlds. And often, as night bled into dawn, Joel could swear he heard faint whispers of gratitude brushing against the edges of the fog.